June 16, 2026, Kansas City, Missouri. Lionel Messi, 38 years old, stands over a ball in the penalty area. He has scored in every round of a World Cup. He has won the World Cup. He has won the Golden Ball twice. He has played more World Cup matches than any man who ever lived. But there is one thing, one specific, singular thing, that in 20 years and 5 World Cups, Messi had never done. Not once. In the 76th minute of Argentina's 2026 World Cup opener against Algeria, Lionel Messi completed the last box on the checklist that 20 years of World Cup football had somehow left empty, his first World Cup hat trick. In doing so, he also tied the all-time World Cup goal-scoring record, 16 goals, level with Germany's Miroslav Klose. And if that wasn't enough, it happened on June 16th. The exact date, 20 years earlier, that he scored his very first World Cup goal as an 18-year-old substitute in Germany. 20 years, 6 tournaments, 3 goals on the same date, and a record that had eluded him for 2 entire decades. This is the story of Messi at the World Cup. All of it. The records, the heartbreaks, the miracle in Qatar, and now, this. June 16, 2006. Veltins Arena, Gelsenkirchen, Germany. Argentina are already winning 5-0 against Serbia and Montenegro. A teenage kid comes off the bench in the 74th minute. His name is Lionel Messi. He is 18 years old. It is his World Cup debut. 14 minutes later, he has a goal and an assist. On his very first World Cup appearance, coming off the bench, Messi scored and set one up. The world was getting its first proper look at what was coming. Argentina went on to reach the quarterfinals, where they fell to Germany on penalties. Messi missed the match entirely, not included in the squad for that game. He finished with 1 goal, 1 assist in just 3 appearances. The number that matters is not the stat line, it's the date. June 16, 2006, the day Messi scored his first World Cup goal. Exactly 20 years later, on June 16, 2026, he scored his 14th, 15th, and 16th. Football doesn't usually write poetry, but sometimes it does. 4 years later, Messi arrived in South Africa as Argentina's captain and the most talked about player on the planet. He had just helped Barcelona win La Liga, the Copa del Rey, and the Champions League. He was 22 years old and football had run out of superlatives. Argentina cruised through the group stage, Messi pulling strings in every match. They dispatched Mexico in the round of 16, then demolished Germany 4-0 in the quarters in one of the most one-sided matches you will ever see at a World Cup. Then came the semifinal against Germany in Cape Town, 0-4. Argentina obliterated, gone. And Messi's personal stat line, 5 appearances, 0 goals, 1 assist, 0 goals. At a tournament, he was universally considered the best player. The Jabulani ball was notoriously unpredictable. Argentina's tactics didn't maximize him, but the numbers were there on the page. It would become a recurring theme. Messi at the World Cup judged against impossible expectations. 5 appearances in South Africa, ranked no lower than the most dangerous creative force in the tournament, and no goals. The critics sharpened their pencils, and they kept them ready for years. Brazil 2014 was the World Cup where Messi, finally, looked like the player the world had been waiting for on the international stage. 4 goals, dragging Argentina through a tournament by sheer force of will. He scored against Bosnia and Herzegovina in the group stage. He curled in a last-minute winner against Iran with the outside of his boot, one of the tournament's most technically breathtaking goals. He scored against Nigeria, and he added a 4th against Switzerland in the round of 16. Argentina beat Belgium in the quarters. They edged past the Netherlands in a goalless semi-final decided on penalties. They were in the final, against Germany. Mario Götze scored in extra time. Germany won 1-0. The World Cup that Messi had carried Argentina to within 1 goal of winning was gone. FIFA still gave Messi the Golden Ball. The award for the tournament's best player, he accepted it, but the expression on his face said everything. He didn't want the award. He wanted the trophy. 4 goals, 1 assist, 7 appearances, a World Cup final, and nothing to take home but a glass ball. The debate ignited. Can Messi truly be the greatest if he can't win a World Cup? Can a player win the Golden Ball at a tournament he lost? Does individual brilliance matter without the ultimate team prize? Those questions would follow him for 8 more years. Russia 2018 is the tournament Messi would most like to forget. Argentina arrived in chaos. Coach Jorge Sampaoli's squad selection and tactics were questioned before a ball was kicked. The opening match, a 1-1 draw with Iceland, in which Messi missed a penalty, set the tone. Then came the 3-0 collapse against Croatia. Argentina were eliminated in the group stage unless they could beat Nigeria in their final group match. They did, Messi scoring a stunning first-time volley to make it 1-0, and then setting up Marcos Rojo's last gasp winner, one of the most dramatic saves of a World Cup career. In the round of 16, they faced France. Kylian Mbappé was 19 years old and about to announce himself to the world. Argentina lost 4-3. Final tally in Russia, 4 appearances, 1 goal, 2 assists. Eliminated in the round of 16. It was Argentina's earliest exit since 2002. Questions about Messi's international legacy reached a fever pitch. Some demanded he retire from the national team. Some wrote eulogies for his World Cup story. They were wrong. But at the time, standing outside that stadium in Kazan, it was easy to wonder. What happened in Qatar in 2022 was, without exaggeration, one of the greatest individual performances in the history of sport. Argentina lost their opening match to Saudi Arabia, one of the biggest upsets in World Cup history. They were on the brink of a catastrophic group stage exit before Messi grabbed the tournament by the collar and refused to let go. He scored in the group stage against Mexico when Argentina desperately needed it. He scored against Poland. He scored against Australia in the round of 16, his first ever World Cup knockout stage goal. He scored against Croatia in the semi-final, and in the final, against France, in what many argue is the greatest World Cup final ever played. He scored twice, 7 goals in 7 matches, 3 assists. A tournament haul that had never been achieved by any player at any World Cup at the age of 35. In the final, Argentina led 2-0 at 80 minutes. France clawed back to 2-2 in the space of 2 minutes, Mbappé scoring twice. It went to extra time, where Messi scored his second goal of the night to make it 3-2. France scored again. 3-3, penalties. Argentina held, Messi lifted the trophy after 5 World Cups, after every question and every heartbreak and every near miss, he had it. The second golden ball, his record 7th match-leading performance of the tournament, and the one trophy that had eluded him for 16 years of his career. Here are the World Cup records he set just in Qatar. First player to score in every round of a single World Cup, group stage, round of 16, quarterfinal, semi-final, and final. Most appearances as Argentina captain at a World Cup, 7 in a single tournament. Tied Pelé for most goal contributions in a single World Cup with 10 goals and assists. Became the first South American to score in a World Cup final. Surpassed Diego Maradona as Argentina's all-time leading World Cup scorer. Extended his own record for most World Cup matches played. And still, after all of that, there was one record he hadn't set. One thing the World Cup had never given him. A hat trick. Before the 2026 World Cup, Messi had scored 11 hat tricks for Argentina, level with Cristiano Ronaldo's international record. He had scored hat tricks in La Liga, in Copa del Rey, in MLS, in qualifiers, but not at a World Cup, in 26 appearances, across 5 tournaments, in some of the most pressure-laden matches ever played. Never a World Cup hat trick. On June 16, 2026, Argentina faced Algeria in their Group J opener. Messi was 38 years old. This was his 6th World Cup, almost certainly his last. There was a subplot to the date itself. Exactly 20 years earlier, on June 16, 2006, an 18-year-old substitute named Lionel Messi had come off the bench in Gelsenkirchen and scored his first ever World Cup goal. The 17th minute, Rodrigo de Paul, his Inter Miami teammate, his closest football friend, plays Messi into space. One touch, left foot, 1-0. Arrowhead Stadium erupts. Messi uses his jersey to wipe tears from his eyes. The emotions are already spilling over. The 60th minute, Algeria's goalkeeper Luka Zidane, yes, the son of that Zidane, fumbles across. Messi pounces on the rebound. 2-0, his 15th World Cup goal, level with Brazil's Ronaldo Nazario on the all-time list. The 76th minute, Messi receives the ball at the top of the penalty box. He opens his body, curls a crisp left foot strike into the corner. 3-0, his 16th World Cup goal, level with Miroslav Klose, the all-time record, tied, his first World Cup hat trick, in his 27th World Cup appearance. After 20 years on football's biggest stage, he walked off the pitch in the 76th minute, the result secure, to a standing ovation from nearly 70,000 people. The crowd outside Arrowhead Stadium, watching on screens, reportedly made a noise that could be heard blocks away. Patrick Mahomes, the Chiefs quarterback, the man usually referred to as the King of Kansas City, was watching from the stands and could only respond to Messi's performance in emojis. Erling Haaland, who had scored his own brace for Norway earlier that day, posted on social media without words, just a single emoji. Argentina coach Lionel Scaloni, when asked to describe it, said only, "At a loss for words about Leo. What can I say? He's incredible." Teammate Rodrigo de Paul, who assisted the first goal, put it best. "He doesn't care about individual records. He prioritizes the group. But for us, it's incredible." Let's take a moment and just look at what Messi now holds at the World Cup, because this list is unlike anything any individual player has ever built. Most World Cup appearances, 27 and counting. He passed Lothar Matthäus's record of 25 appearances during Qatar 2022, and is now the outright record holder by 2, soon to be more. Most World Cup minutes played, 2,314 plus and counting, more time on the pitch at World Cups than Paolo Maldini, Lothar Matthäus, or any other player in history. Most appearances as World Cup captain, 20 plus. He overtook Diego Maradona, his compatriot, the man who previously held this record, in Qatar 2022. Only player to register an assist in 6 different World Cups, Maradona, Pelé, Beckham, all managed 3. Messi has done it in 6. Only player to score in every round of a single World Cup group stage. Round of 16, quarterfinal, semifinal, final, Qatar 2022. First and only time in history. Longest span between first and last World Cup goals, 20 years, June 16, 2006 to June 16, 2026. Exactly 20 years to the day. Tied for most World Cup goals all time, 16, with Miroslav Klose. He has surpassed Ronaldo Nazario, 15, Gerd Müller, 14, and Just Fontaine, 13. Only Klose stands level. Oldest player to score a World Cup hat-trick, 38 years old, first ever World Cup hat-trick of his career. In his 27th World Cup appearance, 2 Adidas Golden Ball Awards, 2014 and 2022, the only player in history to win it twice. 200th Argentina appearance, June 16, 2026 against Algeria, in the same match as the hat-trick. The 3rd player in history to reach 200 caps for a national team. People who don't follow football closely sometimes ask, what makes the World Cup different? Why do people care more about this than any club competition? And the answer often is this: it is the one tournament where the greatest players are held to a standard they cannot control. You don't get to pick your teammates. You can't buy your way out of a bad draw. You play once every 4 years. You get at most 7 shots. Messi has had 6. In 2006, he was 18. In 2010, he was 22 and goalless despite being the best player at the tournament. In 2014, he carried Argentina to the final and lost. In 2018, they went out in the last 16. In 2022, he produced one of the greatest individual World Cup performances in history and finally lifted the trophy. And now, in 2026, at 38 years old, when most players have long since retired, he comes to Kansas City for his 6th tournament and scores a hat-trick to tie the all-time goals record on the exact 20th anniversary of his first World Cup goal. You could not script it. No fiction writer would dare. The record he never had in his 6th World Cup at 38 on a Tuesday night in Kansas City, 20 years to the day. Rodrigo de Paul put the assist on it, but the date was all Messi. Argentina still have more matches to play in 2026. Messi could yet break Klose's record outright. He could add to his appearance record, his captaincy record, his minutes record. He could win a 2nd World Cup. But even if this were his last match, even if tonight in Kansas City were the final chapter of the greatest World Cup career ever played, the story would be complete. 2006, a teenage substitute scores on debut. 2010, 0 goals. Still the best player there. 2014, 4 goals, a final, a golden ball he didn't want. 2018, 1 goal, out in the last 16, questions everywhere. 2022, 7 goals, 3 assists, the trophy, the 2nd golden ball, the greatest individual World Cup performance in the modern era. 2026, a hat-trick, the all-time goals record tied, his first World Cup hat-trick on the 20th anniversary of his first World Cup goal. 6 tournaments, 20 years, 1 record he never had until now. If this gave you chills, hit the like button and share it with someone who loves football. Subscribe, because we cover the stories behind the game that go deeper than the scoreline. Drop a comment. Do you think Messi will break Klose's record outright before this tournament is over? And is this 2026 campaign the greatest farewell in football history? I'll see you for Argentina's next match.